Hey guys, it's Bamboo and Brains, a Kindred main. In this video, I'm going to go over the various options for masteries on Kindred, covering the reasoning behind Keystone picks and the paths down each tree to get them. If you're also watching the gameplay, I just would like to point out that in this match, Braum accidentally takes some correct experience, but even with the rough start, the game goes well. Accidents happen, you just have to play through them. In case you're here just for the completed pages, there are two popular choices, 18-12-0 for Fervor of Battle, and 12-0-18 for Strength of the Ages. Fervor is the glass cannon approach, going all in on damage, whereas Strength is a safer pick, getting some free HP. A general rule of thumb is go Fervor if your team has tanks and peel, so you need more damage, and Strength for when your team is looking too squishy or there won't be anyone to keep the enemy off of you. I'll have some example comps later in the video. Now for the more in-depth stuff, and this is going to be a lot, so brace yourself. We're pretty much always going to put at least 12 points in Ferocity, simply because everything there is useful to Kindred. Will either be 18-12-0, 12-18-0, or 12-0-18. We're also not going to do any splitting of points at any tier, it's all 5 on each. Going down the Ferocity tree, we first grab Fury. This one's pretty straightforward, we want attack speed. Next, I suggest Expose Weakness, though all three of these are worth getting. Double-Edged Sword gives us better dueling, but we take the extra damage too, so while it helps, it also kinda hurts. Beast is good if you're still learning Kindred and getting the hang of kiting jungle camps, but once you're accustomed to that, your W passive is usually enough. Expose Weakness doesn't help with their 1v1, but I think it's already so strong that it's not needed. What it does do though is help ganks and later teamfights once we have a Hurricane. When you gank, you're letting your laner deal extra damage to them. When teamfighting, your Hurricane will mark people pretty quickly. This one is basically a preference between better 1v1 or better teamfighting. Next up is Vampirism. It's just a little extra lifesteal even though we have our passive W. Natural talent is underwhelming, especially on Kindred with poor AD scaling and no benefits from the AP. Then we have Bounty Hunter or Oppressor. This is another case where both are good. Bounty Hunter lets you snowball a bit, and Oppressor is utilized by our E-Slow. My personal preference is Oppressor because we can use that bonus immediately in the game. The Kindred slow only lasts 1 second though, so this is also reliant on your team having some CC to get the full usage. You can't go wrong with either one of these. Pretty much every Kindred page is going to have this initial start, so these are definitely ones to find which best suits you. This is just what I know works for me. Now, assuming we're going full 18 into Ferocity, we're going to snag Battering Blows. We want Armor Pen over Magic Pen to no surprise. Also, Armor Pen's pretty damn strong on Kindred. Then we have Fervor, which is the reason you invest 18 into this tree. Fervor is basically the attack speed keystone. Between our Q and building attack speed items, this can stack up pretty quick. Though we've taken Vampirism, we really don't need too much extra lifesteal, so in its current state, we don't want Warlord's Bloodlust. Deathfire Touch is also a pass because we don't build too much bonus AD, so if you're going 18 in Ferocity, Fervor of Battle is the only keystone worth getting. Now, onto the Cunning tree. When going only 12 points in, Cunning offers a lot, definitely more than the Resolve tree, so you'll often get these next 4 masteries. Now, between Wander and Savagery, I say Wanderer because it fits my playstyle. It's a small bonus, but it lets you gank faster and lets you try and cheese/invade the enemy faster. With enough experience, junglers tend to get a rough idea of when an enemy may show up, and this can let you abuse them being wrong. Savagery lets you clear a bit faster, but Wanderer helps you get back after a recall, gank, etc. This is a personal preference thing though. Now, Assassin used to be perfect for us. It used to be monsters and champions, so that bonus applied to Dragon when we soloed it. Unfortunately, this exact reason is why it was changed to just champions. You can still grab it for the 1v1 bonus, but I don't think it's worth it anymore. I'd rather have a longer red and blue buff, especially since mana can be gating early on. As for Secret Stash, we don't even buy potions, we get the refillable one. So I may have just said we have some mana issues, but I say Merciless over Meditation. A jungle item like Skirmisher Saber will give us mana regen, and there's a good chance we get a Hunter's Potion too. Merciless helps us always, Meditation helps us for about 5 minutes. Dangerous Game is the main reason you go 12 into Cunning. A super strong mastery and it completely dwarfs Bandit, especially on a jungler. This is a mastery I thank for saving me all the time and shake my fist in the air for saving the enemy almost just as much. Should you keep investing in the Cunning tree, you're going to want to pick up Precision. The Magic Pen side is useless, but Armor Pen is strong. Intelligence isn't a wasted pick, CDR is pretty decent even on a gated 2-second Q because of our ult, but I think the Armor Pen is better than 5% CDR. And I've never reached 40% in a build to care about that increased cap. Lastly, unlike Ferocity or Resolve, we have 2 options to finalize the Cunning tree. Thunderlords is the usual pick because, well, it's Thunderlords. We don't get to proc it as easy as a Morgana, but it's not too hard. The other option is Storm Raider Surge. This is definitely worth considering if you're really going all in on an assassin playstyle. It lets you invade and get out with ease, stick to a target after an E proc, and it's just fun to activate. However, this offers us no additional damage, this only lets us get in or out quicker. At the time of doing this video, I don't ever take it, but if you want to try something spicy, give Storm Raiders a chance. Moving on, we have the Resolve tree. To be honest, the other two trees offer more, but Resolve does have a worthwhile keystone with Strength of the Ages. Going down the line, we get Recovery because Unyielding only gives stats based on bonus armor and MR, and while we get a little with items like Hex Drinker, it's a super small bonus for us. Then we have Explorer or Tough Skin, which is basically the same dilemma as Wanderer or Savagery earlier. I like Explorer because it helps us gank and cheese faster. We also have the built-in sustain to opt out of Tough Skin, but if you're feeling too low after jungle clears, you probably want Tough Skin. Just like Wanderer, this is my personal preference. I personally think Runic Armor and Veteran Scars are both kind of meh on Kindred. Scars gives us the bonus HP, but Runic Armor at least works with our W passive and any lifesteal items like Bork, which is a pretty common pickup. Next up, we take Insight. This is one of those cases where we can get a little more sustain, which we generally have plenty of, or get a unique benefit. In this case, we get CDR on our summoner spells. This is kind of nice on Smite, but pretty sweet on Flash. This makes Flash go from 300 to 255 seconds, and Smite go from 75 to 64 seconds. As I've said, I can't think of a situation where I'd want to stop at 12 in Resolve, so you should keep going, next into Swiftness. Legendary Guardian is great on tanks that are dead center of the fight, but if you're in the middle of the fight, something's probably wrong. Swiftness's tenacity will help you get away and stay on the edge of a fight along with. Lastly, and pretty much the sole reason you'd go down the Resolve tree, Strength of the Ages. It takes a bit of time to build up, but at 30 stacks, kind of like a Devourer from the start, it's 2 free Ruby Crystals, or 300 HP. It also lets you stay healthy going from camp to camp later, though less relevant if you're grabbing a Hunter's Potion. Grasp of the Undying and Bond of Stone are both pretty much a waste on junglers. So, with all of the paths laid out, you probably want to know when to pick which path. The bread and butter, and my general go-to, is 18-12-0 Fervor. This page gives offensive stats in all the right places. I'm betting on myself to do well, but I'm feeling that's a safe bet. Our team has at least a little bit of peel, and the enemy team isn't going to stick to me like glue. An example game for this would be us having Nasus, Brand, Jhin, and Nautilus against a Tryndamere, Amumu, Talon, Corki, and Braum. Besides Amumu ult and Braum, I'm not concerned with CC, and we have Nasus, Nautilus to peel pretty hard. If the game looks like I'm going to get easily focused, either based on our team or their team, it's a 12-0-18 Strength of the Ages game. What good is the extra damage from Fervor if I'm going to die too quickly? I'd rather get that extra 300 HP, plus some defensive buffs like Tenacity. An example game for this page would be an Echo, Yasuo, Sivir, and Vel'Koz against a Renekton, Kha'Zix, Ahri, Draven, and Alistar. Renekton will potentially slice and dice through our team to the backline. Ahri Charm plus her ult can get through a window in our team, and Alistar's Alistar. On top of this, even built as a tank, Echo doesn't pull aggro well, and Vel'Koz is going to focus on DPS more than keeping others alive. In a game like this, we're going to have to fend for ourselves. Now, those are my 2 pages, but the Thunderlords and Storm Raiders are totally viable. In fact, I think a 12-18-0 Thunderlords page is a better start for newer Kindreds. I would use it in the same games as a Fervor page, but if you're still learning to play the Kindred mark minigame. The Fervor page is designed for a Kindred who's getting those passive marks, hence the focus on attack speed. If you're still getting the hang of it, Thunderlords is a great way to still stay relevant. Lastly, there's the Storm Raider Surge page. I'm still in the process of experimenting with it, but I'd essentially say it's great if you don't know what to get, like if you're on the fence between any of the others in a match. It's very versatile, letting you gank better, invade better, or get away better. Most Keystones are very straightforward, where Storm Raiders can be used multiple ways. But remember, this isn't going to give you any damage at all. I wouldn't use it against a super tanky team, but against a semi-tanky one, give it a couple tries. I still am. Oof, alright. That was a lot of information, but you've made it to the end. I'm still trying to figure out my own form for YouTube videos, so let me know if you liked or disliked certain things so I know what works and what doesn't. I have a planned lineup for videos, so if you don't want to miss anything, make sure to subscribe. If you want to watch some mostly Kindred gameplay live, come join me on my stream at twitch.tv/bambooandbrains. Lastly, I feel bad about this, but I'm going to run ads on my YouTube videos about 2 weeks after they're released. I'm a full-time student and I'm opting to spend my free time streaming and now making these videos. If you run an ad block, no worries at all. This is just my way to financially justify this allotment of time. Thank you for watching and good luck on the fields of justice.